Thank you. Thank you, music makers. Am I on? Okay. Thank you, music makers, for that excellent fire up. And that's what we're all about this afternoon. We want to get all fired up. Thank you, band. You're all fired up already. Thank you. You're doing a great job. We appreciate that. I think they're great. Let's give them a round of applause. What we're about this afternoon is to try to demonstrate to everyone concerned here the importance of what this is all about, and that's called aluminum recycling. And in fact, all kinds of recycling is very, very important, and we want to impress that upon everyone. And so we've asked some people to come and speak to us this afternoon, and we want to give a little kickoff to the aluminum recycling program at Seminole Middle School. I'd like to introduce to you several guests that we have this afternoon, and some of them will be speaking to you. But we have certainly the very important guest here this afternoon, the Superintendent of Pinellas County Schools, Dr. Howard Heinsley. We have the owner of the company, Reusable Incorporated, whose idea this was to place these machines at the public schools to try to form a partnership between the schools and a business to teach to students the importance of recycling and everyone make a profit in the process. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Stan Fryfell. He also has his very lovely wife with him, Mrs. Fryfell. Glad to have you. Also, we have the gentleman who owns the company. He's the maker of these golden goats, these machines, and Mr. Chris Masters, and his wife is here. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you two of our students who are very fired up about recycling, and they're going to have a few things they'd like to say to you. I'd like to introduce to you Jason Palmeri and Frankie Mcdermott.
This is proof that change really is possible. This is one example of a change, but we need to make even bigger changes to help save our environment. One of these changes is recycling, and that is what the official aluminum recycling kickoff is all about. This machine makes it easy for you to recycle and gives you money for it too. Currently, only 11% of our trash is being recycled, but we can do a lot more. While this machine only takes aluminum cans, there are many other recycling centers which take plastics, glass, and newspaper. So remember to make every day an Earth Day. Recycle. And now I'd like to introduce Frankie Mcdermott, the editor-in-chief of the Seminole Save Our Shores Environmental Club. Frankie?
Thank you. Do you know where the biggest aluminum mine is? It is right in our own backyard. As editor and a member of Seminole Middle School Save Our Shores Environmental Club, I'd like to take this time to tell you how the Aluminum Recycling Center works. There are 5 steps in recycling aluminum. Step 1. First, collect aluminum cans. Step 2. Bring them here. Step 3. From here, they are shipped to the reclamation plant where they are melted into molten aluminum. Step 4. The molten metal is solidified into large slabs of aluminum called ingot, which are rolled into coils of aluminum sheets. Step 5. The coils are shipped to a manufacturing plant where new aluminum containers are produced. The process repeats itself in a never-ending cycle. In 1988 alone, aluminum can recycling saved more than 10 billion kilowatt hours of electricity. That's enough to supply the residential electric needs of New York for 6 months, or Boston for a full year. More than half of the aluminum beverage cans produced in the United States are being recycled. Recycling saves 95% of the energy needed to make new aluminum for more. Other members of save our shores, and I are very worried about our environment. We are glad to have an aluminum recycling drop-off center at our school. This center can provide money for you, the school gets money, it is right in our community, and most important, we are saving our earth. Americans picked up an extra $100 million last year alone. We can now depend on recycling for over 30% of our aluminum, and that may be the best news of all. In the end, recycling improves more than just our profit picture. It improves the picture of our world. Jason, back to Jason.
All right, are you ready for some rapping? All right. Saving the earth is really cool, so let's do all we can to help at school. Let's recycle our cans and glass. That would really give the school some class. Recycling saves energy. That is the way it ought to be. Using styrofoam is bad, and that makes our earth real sad. Let's every one of us recycle our plastic. That microphone is fantastic. No, that's not my real line. Let me get back here. Let's every one of us recycle our plastic. That would certainly be fantastic. Don't become part of the tree cutting caper. Be sure to reuse all your paper. Recovering cans saves bauxite. So wake up and see the light. Reverse vending machines aren't funny. They can really make us some money. So don't miss the boat. Remember to feed the goat. Word.
All right, Jason. All right, thank you, Frankie. I think they really got the message through there. Now at this time, I'd like to introduce to you the owner of Reusable Incorporated, Mr. Stan Fryfell. Mr. Fryfell.
Bill, ladies and gentlemen, students, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, but you gave me a rough act to follow. I mean, that boy really got the message across. And I'm very happy to see that he got that message across, because this whole idea came about from my own personal belief that there is nothing more important than the resource that this country has in its young minds. And by presenting our problems to these young minds, as we've seen here today, there are no problems which cannot be solved. A combination of business and school and education will lead to the solution of our recycling and our environmental problems. And this proves it. Thank you.
Now it gives me a pleasure to introduce to you a gentleman who is the chief of Pinellas County Schools. He is the most recent, of course, just recently been appointed and has become, in fact, it's just a little over a month now that he has been superintendent of Pinellas County Schools. His responsibilities are awesome, and yet out of this tremendously busy schedule, he's taken time to come and talk with us and express to us his feelings about this project. Dr. Heinsley, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. First, let me begin by expressing the school board's appreciation to Mr. Fryfell and Mrs. Fryfell and members of their organization for making this project possible. I also want to congratulate our two young men for the fine job they did representing you as students here at Seminole Middle School. Are you happy about being able to wear shorts? Well, good. And let me tell you, wearing shorts is important to you. But there are far things more important as you move on through the years. And our environment is something that's very important. The project at Seminole Middle School is important to the Seminole community, and it's important to the entire school system. As Seminole Middle students, you can help us by making sure your friends in elementary school and high school are aware of this project. You can make sure your friends know in other schools so that we can duplicate this machine all over Pinellas County so that we can do our part in protecting the environment. This student body is a very good student body. This is a fine school. Seminole Middle School has a rich tradition of supporting projects. You have a fine science department that's provided leadership to you. So I encourage you to make your friends aware, and let's support this project so that Seminole Middle School can continue to do what they've always done, be a leader of all the schools in Pinellas County. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Dr. Heinsley. Once again, I want to, and I sincerely hope that all of you will take to heart this project. It's very important that we recycle everything that we can. We're working on some other means to bring about more recycling programs here, and as soon as the companies become available who can help us, we're going to do that. But it's very, very important that, that we recycle as much as can. Okay, what is this? Okay.